Hey, it's me, NT, and congratulations for making it all the way to the final boss of Hollow Knight, Silksong. In this video, I'll show you the location of Lost Lace, how to prepare for your duel with her, and break down the techniques needed to defeat the ultimate void-touched being. Here's the location of Lost Lace, and the bench you'll start from. Since I was going for 100%, I made sure to get every upgrade before going for the final boss. That means that in addition to the level 4 blade, I acquired another mask for all 10 masks and another spool for all 18 spools. For this final fight, I suggest the Wanderer's Crest and the Cog Flies. For blue tools, I recommend the Fractured Mask, the Druid's Eyes, and the Multi-Binder. And for yellow tools, I recommend the Compass, Weighted Belt, Magnetite Dice, and Ascendance Grip. The good news is, this boss has the easiest run back in the game. The bad news is you have to watch the same cinematic every time you make another attempt. You need to mentally prepare yourself for this, the final boss fight. Not only is Lost Lace a difficult opponent, but the battle takes at least twice as long as a standard boss fight, because Lost Lace has 4 phases spread across 2 different sections of the fight. In addition to that, Lost Lace is great at hitting you, thanks to the increased range from her new void attacks, so you should get used to healing early and often. You shouldn't expect to do any damage with silk skills. In fact, I unequipped my standard pale nails just to make sure I didn't fat finger a button and accidentally spin silk on a skill. The Druid's Eyes are a great help with generating silk to heal, and means that even if you have a bad start, there's a chance you can heal back up. So don't get discouraged if she knocks you around a bit in phase 1. Make sure to heal as high up in the air as you can, and preferably after Lace is whiffed. Like last time, Lace is weak to Pogo, but the real key to moving through these 4 phases is getting multiple attacks in, especially when she's summoning things. Popping her with 1 hit at a time won't cut it. You'll also need to run away a lot during this fight, as well as dashing into close distance, but make sure not to crash into Lace, as she deals 2 masks of contact damage. Lace's lunge attack has been upgraded to a charging lunge that leaves behind a large puddle of void tentacles, followed by another charging lunge, followed by another attack that differentiates based on your location. If you're on the ground, she'll either do a 3rd charging lunge or a horizontal tentacle attack, and if you're in the air, she'll do her diagonal upwards attack, probably followed by a dive attack. Since she adapts based on your actions, this also means that you can bait out this attack, usually by running away, so she expends 3 charging lunges just to catch up with you. Lace likes to melt into the void beneath you, then leap up at a different location and either do a diagonal down tentacle attack or a dive attack. You should dodge them both more or less the same. The only difference is where Lace is at the end of the attack. Lace's main attack is 2 to 3 swipes which carry her forward, pogo off of her, or nail her in the back when she whiffs. More or less replacing her standard lunge, Lace will stand in one location and fire a mass of tentacles in front of her. Like all of her attacks, these tentacles apply the void debuff that attempts to drain silk. So it's a good thing we're carrying the Everbloom flower with us that prevents that effect. Lace has the same counter as last time, but it seems to come out a little faster now. If you strike Lace while she's blocking, triggering her counter, she can choose to counterattack forward, or she can teleport above you and do an anti-aerial counterattack. If you hear the ting of her block, make sure to dash away from her. Lace also has the same diagonal up attack as previously, but now she can also toss a horizontal strike in at the top. It's possible to parry every part of this attack. I did it once, but it's extremely difficult, and she still deals contact damage to you if she rams into you. Note that Lace still likes to immediately transition into a dive attack from this move, so if you've air dashed away from the aerial strike, you still have to dodge her on the way down. Phase 2 starts when Lost Lace yells, and as always, this is an excellent time to punish her. In Phase 2, Lace gets access to several new void attacks, and whenever she leaps into the void, there's a chance she'll leave a void puddle behind that erupts into tentacles a moment later. That sucks. But the good news is it's much easier to pour damage on Lace in this phase, as her new summoning attacks leave her completely open. Lace's first new void summoning attack is when she raises her hand in the air and claps, causing void puddles to appear on the ground and fire tentacles straight upwards. This attack is easy to dodge, unless you're in midair trying to bind your wounds, and is the main reason you need to get as high up as possible when attempting a heal. During this attack is the best time to get multiple strikes on Lace, as not only is she wide open during the attack, but she also has a small but significant delay after the attack where she just stands there and does nothing. When Lace lifts her pin straight up like a baton, she's about to summon 3 projectiles from different points in the room that track you. Get a few strikes off while she's hanging in the air, and then take evasive maneuvers. Note that she can do this attack on the ground as well. Lace can also jump up to summon 6 balls of liquid void that arc up and down onto the ground, erupting in blades a moment later. Jump towards Lace to get a hit in, then fall straight down into the empty space between the puddles before immediately jumping up again. The blades have a larger hitbox than they appear, so even if it looks like you're safe, you'll probably take damage if you stay on the ground. Lace also has a ground-based version of this attack where you have even more opportunity to punish her, but you'll still need to jump to avoid the blades. You'll notice that this phase went faster than phase 1, because she had more openings for me to punish her with quick attacks. Now we've reached the intermission between the 2 sections of the fight, but if you need to heal, do it quickly, because a new attack is about to be introduced. The silk cocoon you're fighting in is failing, letting void flood in as waves that start from one side of the room and sweep across, gradually growing shorter as they travel. Pay attention to where the void spray is coming from, move away from it so it gets shorter, and jump over the wave as it passes. A quick double jump and an air dash should handle it. These waves come in pairs, so you should dash forwards after the first one. You should also expect these waves to interrupt the battle from here on, and it's easy for them to catch you if you're not paying attention. But this attack is an excellent opportunity to heal since Lace scarpers when the waves start. Lace gains a significant speed boost in phase 3, but no new attacks if you don't count the wave attack. Treat her exactly like phase 2, but tighten up a bit more and keep an eye out for the screen shaking that shows a wave is coming and the void spray that shows which direction is coming from. And don't forget to punish Lace with multiple hits while she's summoning. Phase 4 will begin with Lace introducing her ultimate attack, a series of small circular AoE attacks, followed by a ground pound attack. This is an upgraded version of her previous ultimate, but this time you should focus on dodging and forget counterattacking. Stay out of the starry aiming circles, and when she ground pounds, move away or jump in the air, because tentacles are about to shoot up from the left and right of her. They don't go very high, and you could probably get a pogo off Lace as soon as the tentacles disappear, but I never got the timing right for that, so I can't suggest it. We're in the last phase, so it's finally time to start using those cog flies. Keep 3 in the air at a time, and replace any that break. Lace hasn't gotten much harder than she was in phase 2, so keep persevering. It's fitting that I won with 1 mask, since it really represents my whole time with this game. At this point in the video, you can skip to the conclusion to see my score and hear my closing thoughts, or stick around for a victory lap, where I show you my battle against Lost Lace with no pauses or commentary. There we are. 100% completion in 76 hours, 34 minutes, and 9 seconds. And I remember being impressed that Hollow Knight had 40 hours of content, when most Metrovanias had 20 or less. But was it worth it? Was all the pain and strife, all the beating my head on these bosses, worth it? Part of me says no. Not just because of the difficulty, but because the biggest issue with this game is how little it respects your time. Coral Tower is a great example, where you had all those animations going into and out of the dream, plus those heinous arenas, meaning you did the same thing over and over again. The forum had 13 waves, and if you failed on wave 13, you started back at the beginning. Then there are all those boss runbacks, Grohl, Last Judge, even Voltverm were so long and so difficult, you began most boss fights already injured. I hate that. But another part of me says, yes, it was worth it. Small things like hearing Chakra singing that lifted my day. The joy of finding a flea, and the small details like Hornet loving fluffy things. Team Cherry built a deep world that was a joy to explore when the difficulty didn't get in the way. Continually getting more powerful, new moves, new tools, even grinding to buy out a shop was really satisfying. But it's the last part of me that I'm left with that says there's never any point answering the question of is it worth it after the fact, after the time has already been spent and the effort has been expended. Hey, I want to show you the title screen I unlocked by getting the Sister of the Void ending. I think it's pretty special. I still can't leave the question of was it worth it? But this time I'm wondering if making these videos was worth it. To begin with, the answer was clearly yes. Especially when my video on how to find the Wanderer's Crest to beat Hunter's March blew up. That video did over 25 times better than my second highest performing video, and brought me so many new subscribers, for which I am immensely grateful. But, and it's probably due to how long it took me to finish this series, the most recent videos are doing pretty poorly. In fact, I doubt hardly anyone gets to the end of this video, much less sits through this very essay I'm narrating. That means that if you're hearing this, you're special indeed. So thank you. Anyway, I said at the beginning I would make walkthroughs for all the bosses in Hollow Knight Silksong. What I set out to do, I've accomplished. Except for Garamond and Zaza that I got locked out of for fixing up Songclave too quickly. And Summon Savior that requires you to play Steel Soul mode, which is a permadeath mode. And I surely do not have the time or the desire to do that. But I don't think either of those count. For the people who did watch, thanks for following along on this journey. I'm still making YouTube videos on interesting new games, and I imagine I'll do another walkthrough series someday. So if you haven't already, would you please subscribe and turn notifications on? There's still that Ko-Fi link in the description too. Good luck beating Silksong, and one last question. Did you find Mr. Mushroom? Bye!